Hey guys, it's the mama here. Before we get started, I just wanted to put this quick disclaimer out there. We make light of a lot of horrible things, and trust me, they are horrible. We are not, however, making fun of the topics we discuss. Us laughing or cracking jokes is simply our way of coping with the atrocities we talk about. We have nothing but love and support for the victims and their families, and we'll never stoop that low. We've experienced tragedy ourselves. This is why we do what we do. That being said, stay spoopy, our friends. Horror Cultural, where we grow love for all things spooky and macabre. Hey, horror heads.
Beep! That was what my brain sounded like for the past, 30 seconds.
Oh, my shit in hell. Hey, horror heads.
Everybody!
How are you guys all doing?
Hopefully better than I am.
Beep. Alrighty.
Hey, sometimes it's good to go back to basics.
Well, that was pretty fucking basic. I mean, beep.
Please leave your message at the tone.
That's what Mark's brain sounds like right now.
Yeah.
Please leave your message after the beep.
And then it's just some nice elevator music while we wait.
Oh, God, no. No. There is no nice elevator music.
I don't know. Some drugs may disagree with you.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing? So we decided to do something a little bit different for this episode.
And it was my idea.
And it was Mark's idea. And since there are 8 episodes in this Netflix series, we will have 4 episodes pertaining to that series. Go ahead, Mark. What's the series?
So, we are going to talk about the Netflix documentary called Dark Tourist, which stars David Farrier, who is a New Zealander, a New Zealand journalist, who actually goes across the world and, yeah, sorry, Mom's deep sighs because the lights are flickering because I think our brother is fucking with us again.
Well, your brother, my son.
Yeah.
He's been doing it all day. Not just
he was messing with my lights for
every fucking light in the house. I go pee, the lights flicker. I just did the dishes, the lights flicker. I'm sitting in here, the lights fucking flicker.
In my room all day, the lights are flickering. And you heard me earlier. I yelled. I'm like, stop messing with the lights.
Yes, I mean, I get it, but I'm in research mode, son. So if you're trying to tell me something, I can't hear you.
But
Anywho.
Yeah, David Farrier is a New Zealand journalist who went across the world actually to different locations in different continents, obviously, checking out what are known as dark tourism spots. And these are each one is almost wildly different from the other. It is some of the stuff that they showed on the documentary. I was just like, they got away with that.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if I had watched it or not, and I was like, I should have, because, I mean...
This is up your alley.
Something called Dark Tourist is completely up my alley. And then when I watched... I just chose a random episode. I just chose episode 1. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I started watching it, I'm like, yeah, I fucking watched it.
I've seen this.
I knew it. Knew it.
So, what episode did you say you watched all of them, or you just only watched that first one?
I think I watched them all.
No, I meant today.
Oh, no, I just watched the first one.
All right, so we'll talk
I figured, fuck it, I'm going to start at 1.
All right, so we'll talk about the first one then.
Okay, so I go on first.
Yes, I did, like I said to you before we...
Ew, my glasses are filthy.
So, before I had reminded her that this idea that I had come up with, I told her I... had written out mini blurbs for each episode. That way, if she wanted to talk about something specific from any episode, I would have something to fall back onto. So, for episode 1, which was Latin America,
yes,
you can start this, and I will chime in with whatever I deem necessary.
Okay, so when my episode started, I had remembered that I had watched this before. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, anything with dark... And it clearly had to be meant for me, right? I mean, so this episode didn't start out as a typical horror cultural show would, but when you consider all the shit that he did and happened around him, it is in fact horror. And I will get to the him in a second.
Yeah.
So the host of the show, like you said, is named David Ferrier, and I had never heard of him before.
He's like a New Zealand Louis Theroux.
Yeah, but he apparently shares our love for all things spoopy and macabre.
Yes.
Because he does even say that in the beginning.
I swear I didn't steal that. I didn't even know about this show until after we created this.
Now, see, I remember watching it probably before. Because this came out in 2017, I think, right?
2018, I think.
Okay.
I didn't know about it until, like, a week or two ago.
So, like Mark said, the title of my episode is Latin America, and this should be good. He starts off his journey in Colombia, Medellin, to be exact, and I think I might have said it wrong, but I tried. And he starts off by talking about the one and only cocaine king,
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar.
Which, you know, we shouldn't have to explain.
I'm pretty sure that every age group knows who the Pablo Escobar is.
Yeah, like, to some degree, even if it's through, like, Narcos or something.
So, I told you the horror was coming. The beginning of his journey has him in a sketchy-ass cab with a Pablo lookalike playing along with some sort of fucked-up script.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did, the mock tourist, the mock tourism.
The narco fantasy tour.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And I mean, you know, make that money, fam. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'll get to I'll later on when we talk about a different episode, I will refer back to that specific viewpoint.
Anyway, I'm going to do my best to describe the landscaping of the town. And I know I won't do it justice, but one thing I have to mention is in the beginning, when he's in the cab and the host is talking, there's a bus in front of the cab with a dude on a skateboard.
Oh yeah, he's sketching.
He's holding on to the back of the bus.
Yeah, so
It reminds me of something you'd like see in like the old movie. What was that? Gleaming the Cube.
Oh God.
I know I had you watch that.
I'm sure I have. I just don't remember anything about it.
It's a fucking classic.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Gleaming the Cube. It was about skateboarding and shit. And I swear that's what it reminded me of. And I had to laugh because I thought it was funny.
In the skateboarding world, that is called sketching. Or skitching. Skitching with an I.
Did not know that.
It's also, the only reason I know that is because of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah, well, you always have loved Tony Hawk. So the cab driver then drops him off at a neighborhood named after Pablo, and this place kind of reminds me of that Fast and Furious movie, I think 3 or 4, the one in Brazil where the homes are like all stacked.
Yeah, where they're like, it almost looks like layered houses.
Yeah. They literally look like they're layered on top of each other with like a maze of staircases linking them all, kind of like Harry Potter with the moving staircases.
For those of you that would know this frame of reference, think of something like what would it be, Dying Light 1? It's a zombie game where it like,
I have no fucking idea what that is.
Dying Light is a zombie game that came out on the PS3 or 4. And the area you're in is like a fictional Middle Eastern town or something like that, but the layout is pretty much the same, where it's like the houses are built in a hill, and like a house could be slightly on top of another house, and they're just like really packed in together.
Is what gets me, because my fucking ass would get lost.
Yeah.
You step off one staircase and step on one, I'm lost. I'm fucking lost.
It's literally a labyrinth.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, the murals, and it's beautiful.
It is incredible. Like,
the murals and the shrines of Pablo all over the town. Like, 'cause he's seen as a hero there.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. It is incredible how wildly different the views are on the man.
Well, especially in that town, and they do get in depth with it when the host is talking to like people.
They're like, he's a hero.
He's a celebrity. They worshipped him because the one kid said, he built all of this.
Yeah.
We lived in how did he put it? We lived in
They basically lived in squalor.
Well, I wouldn't say these are $1 million homes.
But at least they're homes.
But he called it, what did he say? We lived in the dump.
Yeah.
So when you think of a dump, you think a shack with like tarp on it, and I'm not
and like metal siding.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone's way of life at all. That's just the thought that comes in my head.
These are what are
movies and stuff.
These are the stereotypical views,
and we shouldn't stereotype that shit. But the kid said, why wouldn't I idolize him? He built all this, and he took us from that squalor and put us in a house.
Yeah.
So he is seen as, still to this day, even after his death, as a hero and a celebrity to these people.
And didn't Farrier also talk to a cop who was just like, by the way...
I get into that.
Oh, okay. I'll let you continue that.
All right, so... To each their own, and I'll keep my own personal thoughts on the topic of drug dealers to myself, because I don't want to end up not here anymore.
Yeah.
But that being said, the artwork of the murals are nothing short of magnificent.
Yeah.
We all know who Pablo is. At least we all should, even the youngins. This tale of horror isn't solely about him. It's about Latin America. They show cockfighting in this episode, which I absolutely do not condone. But in a lot of Latin cultures... it's normal.
Yeah.
They even discuss how corrupt the cops were when Pablo was alive. He was paying them off, and most of them took the bribes in order just to survive and not be offed.
That's what the one cop was telling David Farrier. Because even Farrier was like, did you take the bribe? And the cop basically was like, fuck yeah, I did. If I didn't, I would have been killed.
Yeah, well, this is the part I'm referencing when I say some of them are still making money off of Pablo even after his death, because he specifically said... I do Pablo Escobar tours.
Yeah.
And that's how he said, I'm still making money off of him even after his death.
Yeah.
So, good on him, you know? It's a shame that you had to take the bribes because you were afraid of being removed from the earth.
Yeah.
But hey, do you, boo, because it's working for you and you're not doing anything illegal now. So, there's so much more to talk about. You know, Pablo, but again...
Pablo Escobar alone could be like a 4-part thing for us on its own.
And that is an actual horror cultural show. Maybe that'll get put on the list of the other 20 things that we gotta do. But this episode isn't completely about him. He's just the beginning of the journey. I mean, yes, he's the most famous man in Colombia even to this day.
Yeah.
But it ain't all about him. So, the next part of this takes us to... I didn't get into... his hitman and any of that stuff, because I could have kept going and this would have been 12 fucking pages.
I was gonna
like I said, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say you didn't bring up Popeye or anything?
No, I didn't bring up Popeye.
Alright, so I did bring up a little bit. I did bring him up a little bit.
You can talk about
it.
Since
it's a transitionary thing. Yeah. It's a very small thing. So, there's at least one person left alive that was associated with Pablo Escobar, and it was his right-hand man nicknamed Popeye. And
I just think, I looked at his arms. Yeah, I looked at his arms and I'm like, he don't got one big arm and he don't wear a patch, so what's the
But the thing was,
take your pills, Rhonda.
I wasn't even aware that anyone associated with Pablo Escobar was still even fucking alive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I always thought that, like, he was executed and then they rounded up all of his men and executed them on the spot or something.
When he was executed, I think Popeye was still in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, La Cathedral.
Yes.
And that man is...
Which is translated to...
I believe the Cathedral?
The Cathedral.
Which, if you guys don't know, the Cathedral is a personal prison that was created because of an agreement that Escobar had with the Colombian government.
Yeah, if you're gonna lock me up, you're gonna lock me up where I want to be locked up. And since he had the whole government in his pocket, and that
if you're
was
locking
also,
me up, we're doing it my way.
Well, and not only that, the Colombian government did that because A, they were getting paid. B, they did it so they didn't have to extradite him back here.
Yeah.
To face all the charges here.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was. That Popeye...
And there were a lot.
Oh, yeah. Popeye was a character in that episode.
Yeah, he was. He pulled out that gun. I was like, oh, la pistola.
And he's just, like, holding it like, yeah, you know, this was my...
He's a YouTube star.
Yeah, he does dramatizations of shit that happened in his life with Pablo Escobar.
And makes money.
And it's so weird, because they've shown clips of it.
It's essentially reenactments.
Yeah. And the way they filmed it, it's like an action movie.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It really is. But hey, you know, whatever. Do you?
Yeah.
And he said, you know, people don't hate him anymore because he's repented and he's done his time and all that shit. Good on you, my guy. Good on you. But I'm sorry. Murder is murder is murder. Yeah. And he said to have killed over 100 people.
Yeah, there's too many skeletons in that closet to
that
empty out.
closet can't even stay shut anymore. All right, so anyway.
Next up is...
The next part of this takes us to Mexico City. Now, I guess I differ from others when I hear Mexico City, because I don't think of drugs, I think of the witch shit.
Yeah.
He arrives on the Day of the Dead. Now, in Mexico, they celebrate this from November 1st to November 2nd. Whereas here in the States, because we're fucking idiots,
Yep.
we don't know no damn better. We usually celebrate it on Halloween. It is not Halloween. On this day, millions of Mexicans head to the cemeteries to visit their loved ones who have passed on. People dress up in painted faces with skulls, sugar skulls.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite aesthetics.
Absolutely. And, sometimes elaborate dress. It's a celebration of life and death.
Yeah, and that's what I always found fascinating about literally every other culture in the world. Whereas, like, if someone dies in America, their family has, like, the open casket viewing, a whole,
which I'm sorry, I think it's morbid.
It is. Especially from... Okay, so at this point, it's been, 2 months since my grandmother's funeral, I want to say?
Yeah, about that.
So, my grandmother passed away recently, and we did, like, the whole open casket thing. We did the whole funeral thing. And it just felt off. It just didn't feel right. And it's because the way Americans view death is so sad and depressing that, like, it's
Don't
like...
get upset.
I'm not. It's just like I literally cannot formulate my thought on it. It's almost like let's see them one last time before we bury them, whereas...
It's like we're putting them on display for everyone to gawk at, and
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And honestly, Grandma looked way better post-mortem than she did the last time I had seen her before
that's
that.
good.
And in other cultures, they throw friggin' parties!
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, here, sit and stare at your loved one who is deceased.
Sit and look at this corpse and just remember.
In a way overpriced casket.
Yeah.
Where you have to sit there and stare at them for... Well, depending on their religion, your grandmother was a very strict Roman Catholic,
Yep.
so we had to sit there and stare at her for a long-ass time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that
Somber.
the wake should be the entire thing, like the other cultures do.
Yeah. That was the word I was trying to think of. It's somber. We take it into such a emotionally dark place that I don't understand how that tradition has persisted for so long. Like, when I die in, like, fucking 50, 70 years from now, hopefully I make it to 80, I would, A, want to be cremated, B, have some of my ashes pressed into a record of my favorite songs, and have that played during my, the funeral service.
Make a will. I want to be cremated as well. And, you being my next of kin, because Warren and I are not married, everything would go to you. In fact, I'm telling you to make a will, and I've got to fix mine. Anyway, we got way to fuck off track.
Death!
So.
It's inevitable.
Yep. Our narrator hears of another type of worship by a quote-unquote air testicles cult named Santa Muerta, the Saint of Death. Mm-hmm. This religion has risen vastly in popularity with backyard shrines and in-house shrines, worshipping a skeleton in a hooded cape, and is outlawed by the mainstream churches.
Not baller.
Gotta love that religious acceptance. There's no love like Catholic and Christian hate.
Oh, of course.
You. For fuck's sake.
God is all loving, except if... Never mind. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah. Mainstream religions. We know what those are. Insert eye roll here. So before he learns more about the Santa Muerta, he heads to see a priest who is apparently ass deep in an exorcism.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
The woman is laying on the floor, gasping for air, crying out all at the same time, while there's another woman over her chanting, because that's not witchcraft, remember? Mm-hmm. With her hands on her as if her God above was reaching down.
And you could see the visible discomfort on David's face. He's looking at it like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, like the woman was the exorcist and the priest was kind of like overseeing.
Yeah. Like she was like an exorcist in training, basically.
Yeah, like she's pressing down on the chest and neck of the woman on the floor. And
I will choke the demon out of you.
Yeah, and no wonder it looks like the poor chick on the floor is in pain. The woman was like...
It's like the worst version of CPR.
It makes you wonder if the woman given the air testicles healing was a witch and they just didn't want to say it.
Exactly.
I digress. Anywho, remember, boys and girls, we don't care what religion you are, you do you, boo.
Just don't be a douche about it.
Right. Don't be judgmental assholes when somebody else believes in something different. We are all human beings. We all will bleed red when you cut us. With the freedoms we believe, with the freedoms to believe in and worship, or not worship, who we want. And rant. My bad.
And what I thought was really interesting about the Santa Muerte stuff was that when he goes to learn about it, it's like some street festival, and like
I get into that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll let you go into it then.
So the priest goes on to tell David that anyone who deals this part got me. If they're drug dealers, or if they're in the mafia, or if they do this, and this, basically anything bad, they must worship Santa Muerta. And they're satanic, and they're possessed by a demon. And now we move on.
That's essentially,
a demon, I tell you.
Hot day of the demons, anyway.
So now it's the day after the Day of the Dead, when he arrives at the town Topita, where Santa Muerta is widely practiced.
Yes.
He sees the people crawling on their knees in the streets in repentance of their sins and wrongdoings to Santa Muerta, the Lady of the Dead. Now, when I described it at first...
Skeleton in a hood.
You're gonna think it's a guy.
Yeah, because that's, like, I don't know why it is, but that's, like, the default thought process, is that everything starts off masculine.
And she kind of looks like... I go right back to Harry Potter with the Death Eaters. She kind of looks like that. But she also looks like the Catholic version of...
You got this.
No, I don't, because I'm not Catholic. The
Are you trying to say the Grim Reaper?
That. So...
Honestly, that was the first thought I had. I'm like, oh, that's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, you know... So anyway, he sees the people crawling on their knees. Clearly they're in pain because they've probably been crawling for a while.
And you got
depending on how much they think they've done wrong.
Probably like broken glass and dirt and gravel and all that shit digging in their legs.
But it takes me back to this point. Yes, people, she is a saint.
Yes.
She is a deity. She is a she.
Yes.
Just saying that. Just putting that out there.
Hence the Santa.
Yes.
Because that's the feminine version, if I remember correctly.
So a common thing for the worshippers is to thank her for being alive, as they believe she has saved them and helped them, pretty much like any other religion, right? Offerings are made to her, again, like other religions.
Weren't the offerings really, like, out there, too?
Yeah, she is said to like the hard liquor.
Yes.
Bless her, because I can't do that shit.
Speaking of, I might go get some in a minute. Continue.
And she's also apparently likes to partake in the earthly green.
Yes, that's what it was. It was hard liquor and weed.
She likes the devil's lettuce. Well, that's why I guess they call her she's possessed by a demon. 'Cause she likes the earthly lettuce. So anyway, David meets the woman who essentially kicked off this religion, Donna Kidder. She brought her statue out into the streets years ago and thus began the journey. I mean, it's like coming out of the broom closet. It's empowering, freeing, and now you feel as if you have nothing to hide and you're able to be your true self. It's like the
LGBTQIA+. Yeah, it's a lot. And I feel like they're just going to keep adding on to it. We have to come up with a group word.
Because it's a lot.
I don't want to have to remember the alphabet. I'm in the community and I don't want to be in the alphabet anymore.
Yeah, it's like... But anyway, it's like people coming out of the closet.
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing. When I first came out of the broom closet, it was actually very freeing, and I don't hide it, and I don't fucking care what anybody thinks of me, to be completely honest. It's my life. I'm looking at...
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking at my altar right now, which is out in full display, and anyone who walks in our house can see it, and it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So anyway, be your true selves, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So, I know you guys are probably like, what in the actual fuck, Rhonda? There's no horror in this episode, but if you think about it, there's a lot of it.
It's more realistic horror.
People are afraid of things they don't understand or don't want to understand. Besides, it's a nice break from fuckers wanting to unalive each other or kidnapping or trafficking, and sometimes this horror whore needs just a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And this is a really good series, too.
It is. It's fun.
So, back to Donna.
I was going to say...
I'm almost done! Back to Donna. I wasn't expecting her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very cute older lady who looks nothing like a Satanist worshiper.
She just looks like someone's grandma.
Yeah, because she's not a Satanist, for fuck's sake.
She just looks like if you walked in, she would be like, oh, niño.
That's your abuelita, and she wants to make you...
Oh, niño, how's mi elote?
Yeah, she wants to make you carnitas and whatnot, you know? But anyway, she's very cute, and the woman has cancer, and she says ever since she started worshiping...
Yeah, she's come to terms with it. I was just like, good for you.
Yeah, ever since she's come to terms with Santa Muerta, she's like, I love my cancer, and I don't fear death.
Yeah.
So fucking great! So anyway, David brings in the this effigy, which looks just like Santa Muerta. Or the Grim Reaper, if that's what you want to...
If you have, for some reason, have a hard time saying Santa Muerta or Santa Muerte, Grim Reaper is fine, too.
So she blesses it. And I think she blesses it with what we call... We, as in the witches, what we call Florida water. It's basically a... I'll explain it later.
Is it like just a weird concoction of herbs in water?
And citrus, and...
Oh, citrus would make sense.
It's basically a cleansing and protecting kind of thing.
Basically, she kind of made it like an official thing by blessing it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. It was... Remember the red glass?
Yeah.
Like blown glass? It was gorgeous. So anyway, she blesses that for him. And let me give real fast the true definition of Santa Muerta. Santa Muerta is the personification of death. Unlike other saints who originated in Mexican folk Catholicism, Santa Muerta is not herself seen as a dead human being. She is associated with healing, protection, financial well-being, and assurance of path to the afterlife. Well, would you look at that? She don't seem so bad after all, does she?
Yeah, it's almost like people jump to conclusions.
So it's not really about worshiping death. It's about not fearing it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but growing up, when I did believe in air testicles God, death terrified me. I would go to bed at night as a kid thinking, oh my God, when I die, what happens? There's just nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think that way anymore.
Yeah.
Since I started my new spiritual path where air testicles God is not in my journey, I'm not afraid anymore. I know I'll be back and I'll live again and again, just like I know I've lived many lives before.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in reincarnation. Fuck, some days I really feel old. Like, I think all my past lives have caught the fuck up with me. But anyway, on to our next stop. We head to the U.S.
Oh, wait. No, hold on. Wait. Before we go any further, I did have something about the Santa Muerte stuff. When I was watching it and seeing all the people in the streets and whatnot, like, crawling on their hands and knees, I think some of them were, like, self-harming to help repent.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, I'm like, if seeing stuff like this really drives home, like, the religious fanaticism some people get into with stuff like this.
It reminds me, and it might be Dark Tourist, I can't remember, but I saw a show where, was it Rome? They come out with hoods on, and they're flogging themselves to repent for their sins.
It was not Dark Tourist. They did not go to Rome, as far as I remember. No, they didn't. That just reminds me of the, what was it, the Da Vinci Code? With the albino guy?
But it's something like, but it's real.
Self-flagellation,
They do that. Yeah. Now I'm going to have to see what that was.
But yeah,
anyway, we got way off track.
Well, I was going to say, it just really, like I said, it just really drives
we always get way off track.
But that's the fun of this. But, it just really drove home how, like I said, how deep the religious fanaticism can get to where people...
No matter what religion you are.
Yeah, like any religion, you'll find that one person, it's like, hurting yourself is the closest way to God. And it's just like, nah, hurting yourself is the closest way to a mental hospital. And then you meet, what was her name? Rita? The girl.
Donna.
Donna. Okay, yeah. Donna. Everyone else is just like, oh, Santa Muerte, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, Santa Muerte's cool.
Yeah, she's the cutest little grandma.
Santa Muerte's chill IRL, you know.
All right, so our next stop, we head to the U.S. in a mock border crossing experience.
Yeah, that was...
We're going to the wall, ladies and gents. Yep, I mean that wall. We all know that people called coyotes or coyotes smuggle people across the border from the Latin countries to ours, and horrific things happen to them, including unaliving.
Yep.
These coyotes will also threaten to kill your family if you don't pay. So, like, if you get across and you still owe them money,
they'll just pop you right there.
They'll go after your family or threaten.
Yeah.
And I think they actually do go after your family in certain situations.
Yeah.
But anyway.
They will put you on the evening news, as some people would say.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
These people are ruthless. They starve you, beat you, leave you with nothing. And remember, they're being paid by you
to do this.
To get to the States, and they do this shit to you. So,
and because you want to get to a better country with more opportunities, you deal with it.
I mean, it's not just the coyotes you have to worry about who rob you while you're out there. The coyotes don't care. They'll leave you there to die.
Yeah, if it saves their ass, they'll get out of Dodge.
Yeah, you've got the narcos out there too, that are smuggling back and forth.
And then you have border patrol and tons of other things.
If the narcos and the coyotes cross, you've got the fact that they'll beat you, rob you, sexually assault you, and they'll unalive you. And chances are they'll do all of the above in succession.
Yeah.
So, any whorebag, that was the Latin America episode, peeps, and I'm not doing this show any justice. I mean, the reviews are your thing, monster.
Yeah.
But fuck it, I gave it a shot. So.
But yeah, it was, and the one thing I'll bring up about the mock border crossing was that it almost felt comedic at points because, like, the actors in it felt like they were getting a little too into it.
They were having some fun.
They were taking...
The fucking lady got so scared she gave up her $10,000 engagement ring.
And she was just like, I gave him my ring. And then the guy that's leading the mock border crossing was like, basically was like, the fuck would you do that for?
Right? Like, they only paid $50 to do this.
And you gave up $10,000.
Oh my God, it was a shit show.
Yeah, it was a trip. But yeah.
That's my part, and we are going to take a quick break for your commercial. And then Mark will be up. So,
woo!
3, 2, 1.
Beep.
Hey, horrorheads.
Wow, you interrupted me that time. Good job. I'll just say welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that commercial break. So
I had to get it in because you always fuck me up in the beginning.
So for those of you that have watched Dark Tourist like we have, you think you know what I am going to talk about. But you are wrong. Because I'm going to talk about the Europe episode. That's right. I'm not doing Japan this time.
I'm fucking shocked.
Mom can do that one.
I really am fucking shocked.
Anyway, so in the Europe episode, he as in David Ferrier, he participates in a World War II reenactment that uses actual weaponry from that time period. They basically just gutted any of, like, the dangerous stuff out of it, and they used blanks.
Okay.
Which is cool. And the costumes, I say, the outfits are authentic. Like, they are actual, like, World War II garments, including people wearing Nazi uniforms.
Oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
Fun.
And if I remember correctly, you are not allowed to say Nazis. You are just supposed to call them the Germans.
Makes sense.
And he talked to a few of the people that were dressed up as the Germans and was like, this has to get uncomfortable sometimes, right? And he's like, oh no, people come up and, get pictures with us. A lot of women, shockingly. And he's just like, huh. And nothing about like the Nazi garb or anything. He's like, oh, we don't say Nazi. We call ourselves the Germans. And there are some people who kind of look at us, like, why are you wearing that? But
It's history.
it's history, and we're not what's the word? Glorifying it.
It's just history. It's part of the history.
Yeah, they're preserving it, basically.
The shitty history, but that's what it is.
You gotta remember the shitty history so you don't repeat it again. So, I thought that was cool, because, like, they actually have him, like, crawling through the mud, like, doing basic training stuff.
Like CrossFit shit.
Yeah. Like, they had him, like, crawling through mud, like, on his, like, belly sliding with arms and all that. And he's
I ain't doing all that.
He's just like, I feel like I need a shower. I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. And they were like, between the segments of the reenactment, they were just like eating pizza. The Germans were making the food.
Okay.
And he's just like, I am dressed as an American soldier in England in a hole eating food prepared by people dressed up as not Germans.
Not Germans.
And it was hilarious.
I don't think I remember this episode. I might once I start watching it again.
It's episode 5.
Okay.
So it's literally like right in the middle. And after that, he goes to a museum that's on like the border of England, and I want to say Wales. I want to say that's it. I forget exactly where, but it's the kind of museum you would it's the kind of museum you would expect us to talk about, because it's got a lot of fucked up historical stuff in it, and some of stuff that may not have actually happened, but is up to artist interpretation. Okay. Which, boy, howdy, did he interpret it all right. Like, the guy's got, like, models of black folk being lynched. It's for historical purposes, but
still.
It's uncomfortable, and that's the point.
Yeah.
And, he's got, like,
fucking white people.
We suck. And then there's, like, other models the guy did where it's, Jews being carted off to Auschwitz and all that. And
fucking white people!
And then, this is the grossest part to me. Human skin lampshade. Supposedly...
Are we talking about Ed Gein again?
That's what I was like. I was just like... Because, like, when they were talking about it, I'm like, what in the Ed Gein is this bullshit?
And they're like... we're talking about the titty belt.
And...
Well, didn't he also make a lampshade?
He made a lot of things out of humans. It was horrendous.
Oh, God, we're already getting off topic.
But anyway, no, it's still somewhat on topic. But apparently, the human skin lampshade is from Nazi Germany.
I'm mortified.
Yeah. And I can only imagine it is of a Jewish person.
Oh.
I don't remember if they specifically said.
I'm going to assume probably.
Yeah. Or just a really fucked up German guy. That's beside the point. And, because of that trip to the museum, he actually met up with this woman. I think her name was like Laura or something like that. Who is engaged to someone known as England's most violent prisoner, a.k.a. Charles Bronson. Who, if you look at a picture of this man, go ahead, look up Charles Bronson and tell me this man does not look like the love child of Teddy Roosevelt and Dr. Eggman.
Oh my God. Alright, keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
So, the woman is engaged to this man, and they actually have him...
Of course, the actor comes up.
Oh,
wait. Charles Bronson, prisoner.
Yes, that one.
Oh my.
I told you!
That's quite an impressive stash he's got.
Exactly! And, so they're talking to her about, like, why would you do this? Like, not like as in, like, why would you do this? But, like, why? What drew you to him?
Why?
Yeah. And, it's the stereotypical, he's actually a real sweet man.
Sure!
And then they get him on the phone. And, my God, this guy sounds like a right cartoon. Like, he has, like, the British accent, like, oh, David, me old China.
Sorry.
Like, the guy sounds like Murdoch Nichols from Gorillaz.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, David, me old China, how you doing, mate? You know, oh, me Laura, she's such an angel, isn't she? And he's like, I was a little worried about talking to you because, because of your reputation. He's like, don't worry, David, me and Laura, we only ate pygmies. And I'm just like, there's no way this man is real.
I saw a picture. He's fucking real. But I think she died.
Nah, there's no way she's dead. But,
Laura?
it was Laura something. Charles.
Or Paula.
Might have been Paula.
She died in 2019.
So not long after that aired.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a Charles Bronson actor. Weird.
God, yeah. I know that from Granny and Granddad.
Yeah, but I don't. Oh, that. By the way, they also made a movie.
He was married 3 times.
Yeah, I think this was his 3rd wife.
Yep.
By the way, they made a movie about this guy.
And it's called?
Bronson.
Okay.
You know who plays Bronson in Bronson? Tom Hardy.
Oh, now see, I'll watch that. Because I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy plays Charles Bronson in the
film of Bronson's life.
Yeah. He plays Charles Bronson in the movie Bronson.
All right, keep going.
So anyway, that was just wild to me because, like I said, the man sounds like a cartoon, like a stereotypical British, oh, how you doing? Ah, yes, y'all so-and-so. And I'm like, all right.
Gonna go get some bangers and mash.
Yeah. And, like, he's asking Charles some questions, like, she said, Paula said, you're honestly a very charismatic sounding man, despite what your reputation is. And, I wanted to ask, what was your first impression of Paula? And he's like, all right, I'll tell you. She lit up the room. She's an angel in my life. And when I saw her, I said to myself, I'm going to marry her. And I'm like, dude, this is a sweet story, but my God, your voice just makes it hilarious to me. And it was interesting because it's not often you get to see that kind of stuff.
We might have to see if we can find that after we're done recording tonight.
I'm sure you can find that movie easily.
Jeff.
Yeah. And then after, excuse me, really deep burp. After that, he goes across Europe to Cyprus.
Okay.
And there's a place in Cyprus called Famagusta. Now, Famagusta, if I remember correctly from the episode, they said it's like, there's like a border between what you can go to in Cyprus and what you are legally not allowed to visit in Cyprus. And Famagusta is part of the area you are not allowed to go to in Cyprus.
But why?
It's like a military zone.
Oh.
Because if I remember correctly, they said that the northern half of Cyprus was attacked by the Turks.
Okay.
And it's still, for whatever reason, off limits to literally everyone. And
Is it like Chernobyl and you can't go there because of the radiation?
No, it's not a radiation thing. It's they will shoot you on sight and you won't know why kind of thing.
So something's there they don't want anyone to see.
Something's there, someone's there, something happened there. So they don't want you to see it.
That's like an Area 51 kind of bullshit.
Well, this is where it gets interesting. David actually had talked to someone who had lived in Famagusta before they were kicked out, and it was considered an off-limits zone.
They kicked these poor people out of their fucking houses? Like eminent domain shit?
Yes.
God damn.
Let me see real quick. There was like a specific...
How do you do that?
You're the government, you can do anything at this point, I swear.
Fucking white...
So,
all
yeah.
white men!
Well, they're darker skinned, I would assume. Turks and whatever
I'm
Cyprus...
referring to our government.
Oh, well, yeah. I was going to say Turks and... Whatever.
You keep saying Turks, and I'm thinking Turks and Caicos.
No. The Turkish. How about that?
Totally not that.
How about the Turkish? I don't know what people from Cyprus are called, sadly. But this happened in...
We gotta watch our hole, my lip.
independence in 1960 to the Turkish invasion of Cyprus in 1974. You were alive when this happened. You were just 4 years old.
I was four.
So yeah, they were kicked out of their house in the 1970s, and it has been off limits since then. And
yeah, there's some kind of shady shit.
Yeah, there's some shit going on there. And there's a place, it was called like Varnasha or something like that. And it's a beach you can go to. Like, it's a public beach that you can actually, go to. But you're not allowed to film at all, whatsoever. Which, I get it. It kind of makes sense. There are places that do that.
I ain't going there, because if something fucked up happens to me, there's no evidence of it.
Well, no. That's the part of Cyprus you were allowed to go to. But the beach itself is connected to Famagusta, the part of Cyprus you are not allowed to go to. And you know how at lakes and whatnot, they'll have like that...
Nah, fam. I think I'm going to take a hard pass on that.
You know how in lakes...
I'm not going to be one of those ones that... She went to this beautiful beach, never to be seen again. No, I'm good.
He was a good boy.
I am so good.
It's like the serial killer documentaries. He was a good boy until he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But... you could go onto the beach, but you couldn't film because, like I said, the beach is right next to Famagusta, which is off limits. All 100% of it.
Which makes me think either something's going to be in the air or on the ground that you're not supposed to see.
Exactly. But the beach that he went on, it was like a normal, touristy kind of public beach. And he managed to sneak a camera in using spy glasses, basically.
Right.
And he also had, a normal camera.
I actually had that thought in my head, too.
Well, he had, a normal camera, but then it got confiscated, and, actually, no. The spy glasses were something different.
Get your shit together, boy!
I watched so much stuff! I think the spy glasses were from the Pakistan episode.
Because they also make necklaces with itty-bitty teeny tiny cameras.
So
that was from Bad Boys.
Yeah. So, when he went to Cyprus, he had a normal camera, and he was just trying to do, he was trying to pass it off as it's a tourist vlog, that kind of thing. So he's filming himself doing stereotypical touristy stuff at the location.
Of the beach.
He's here's the beach. Here's the beach, guys. Look at this place.
Look at the ocean.
And then he goes out to the
ocean?
It's the sea, ocean, something like that. And he goes out into the water, and you know how at lakes they have the little buoy line that you're not allowed to cross? That was literally the only thing in the water stopping people from swimming over into Famagusta waters.
Damn, they probably had spikes and shit on that.
No, it was just a normal plastic-ass buoy line.
I wonder how close people were in fucking boats with goddamn machine guns waiting for you to cross that line.
I know, right?
Just past
just out of
the
eye
eyesight.
line, yeah. So, he goes out...
They can fucking pick you off at 50 meters.
Yeah. So, he goes out into the water. He goes out far enough to where he thinks that they won't see him on the beach. And he's like...
Excuse me?
He's inching his way closer and closer to the barrier. And then you hear a whistle. And they have him come back to shore.
Is there a lifeguard?
It was a lifeguard or something. Okay. Or just a guard of some kind.
Oh my God, excuse me.
So he has the camera in his hand. He's holding it up, but he's making it seem like he turned it off. So you could see the conversation between him and the guy. And he basically smooth talked his way out of it. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm a tourist. This is my first time here, all that stuff. And they're that's fine, but we're gonna have to take your camera and wipe the footage and throw the camera away. And he's you know what?
In case it has some sort of internal memory that we can't find.
Well, so they go into his camera, they delete everything on the camera, including, I'm assuming everything, including if there was an SD card in it. Luckily, because otherwise...
Did he back it to the cloud?
No, luckily they were able to recover the footage, so they might have had it in the cloud, I don't know. But he's we were able to recover some extra footage. I'm
yeah, he had to have stored it to the cloud.
And I'm sitting here I would assume so, or else we wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about. And,
these motherfuckers don't realize that cloud, man.
Yeah, and, around the time, I think it was, in runtime order, it was, right before he goes to the beach. He's it was, when he got to Cyprus. He's talking to this guy who has the only lookout spot that you could climb up to and see across the field that is barred off.
I would totally have a fucking telescope.
Oh yeah, but I'm sure that's one of the things they pick you off for.
Yeah, that's when you'd get shot with a fucking sniper through the goddamn telescope.
Yeah, it's just like shoot. And the guy was just like, David was like, so like, what exactly is this area? He's like, well, here is the safe part of Cyprus. Just past that barrier is
the not so safe.
And he's talking like the further you go, the more dangerous it gets. And he's like, what if I just ran into Famagusta? And he's like, you could try. You'll probably get shot. And he's like, that's fair. And then that's what leads us into the beach part where he's like, I'm going to sneak into Famagusta.
I can't believe they really shoot people.
And exactly. And it's like a government thing. It's not like some private sector, like some private security sector or something. It's like, you are not allowed here on this person's, authority. This is the whole last Cyprian government going, nah.
Yeah, there's some shady shit going on. We might have to put that on the list of more things to investigate.
Yeah, that'll definitely be something I have to dig into, though.
Because now I want to fucking know. This nosy bitch wants to know. Why can't I go there? Why? What's there?
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure they discuss a little bit more about it. It's just, I watch so much stuff, everything gets blended together. Clearly, because I forgot about where the spy glasses were used. I mean, the spy glasses might have been used here. I don't fucking remember. But, yeah, the Cyprus part was the most interesting thing in that episode to me. Because it's just like, this mad lad really was going to risk his life to go into a forbidden city.
All for journalism.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's crazy, though. It was awesome. But yeah, it was, the Europe episode was a really good one. And to all of you thinking I was going to do the Japanese episode, go fuck yourselves. Bye.
You ain't right. You are my son.
That's all I got. That's all I got on that.
Wow. Well, I want to know more about this place.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you can definitely dig into more. If you watch the episode, you'll probably learn a little bit more.
I'm going to rewatch them all, obviously, but that does remind me of some Area 51 shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you say Area 51, we automatically think aliens, but honestly, if you think about it, and we still have not done any UFO stuff.
I've been wanting to, but it's just so hard to, like...
Area 51 can't be the only place.
Oh, for sure.
On this
In
Earth.
fact, there is, in the episode about the stands, like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, all that stuff, they actually talk about a place called Baikonur, which is where the Russian space program is.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
But, yeah, 100% there's definitely other alien stuff. There's no way the American government is, like...
The only one.
And not even just that, like, it's...
Especially when we're supposed to be so far behind China and Russia and Korea and...
Oh, look, a balloon.
Yeah. Oh, look.
It's a Chinese spy balloon. No, it's a weather balloon. That has the Chinese flag on it, though. It's a Chinese weather balloon.
Oh, my God. All right, guys, well...
Thank you for listening to Horror Cultural, where...
we grow love for all things spoopy and macabre.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys later.
Have a great night. We love you. Bye.
Peace. If you have a suggestion or would like to reach out to us, or you just want to hear more Horror Cultural, be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or send us an email at horrorcultural@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at Horror Cultural, Instagram at Horror Cultural, and Twitter at Horror Cultural. Should be obvious at this point. But yes, please follow us everywhere you can, and don't forget to check out our website when it inevitably is finished.